Hello. This is a guide for Drug Dealer Simulator 2 on getting your first hideout and getting your marijuana operations up and running within this hideout. And the rest of the video will be a voiceover, so I hope it helps you out. And please enjoy the rest of the video. Welcome to a guide on how to get your first weed house or devil's lettuce or garden up and running in Drug Dealer Simulator 2. Now, starting out is pretty simple. What you want to do is just start off with your basic main quest right up until you need to meet Lonzo, and even then keep scheduling yourself to do deliveries because you're going to need that money to get the product up and running for your first weed house. Once you first meet Lonzo, you want to pick up that money and go straight to the pawn shop, or what I like to call the bank, and put your money in there so you can afford your first house once you get there. And while I was there, I went ahead and deposited all my money and withdrew enough just to leave $240K in the bank, because the first house will cost about $230K. And then while you're in the general area, visit these stores in the local area, especially the furniture store, so you can eventually get that furniture delivered to your house without having to make the trip. You can continue focusing on side quests, but two quests I want you to avoid as of right now until you get the money up and running from your weed operations is I want you to avoid giving Marcus the $50,000 and avoid going to the boat and getting the boat engine, because you do not really need it right now unless you're really dying to get that little tiny rust bucket of a boat. But I would just say just avoid those two quests for now. While doing some side quests as well as avoiding those two quests that I mentioned and making up your money a little bit, you'll be able to get to a quest that says obtain a hideout. And then after you talk to that gentleman, you'll be ready to buy your first hideout, which we will be using for our marijuana dispensary. So the house that we are going to buy is actually called a cottage, and it's just up to the right on Archipelago Island. Just to the right, actually right above Lonzo's, above the bus stop. As you can see right here, it is just a nice little cottage. The nice thing about this cottage though is it has running water and it has a phone line. Running water is something that you need to grow the marijuana, so you don't have to keep buying bottles of water. And as you can see, there it is right there on the map. Like I said before, this is a voiceover, so it's a little weird for me to try to do this. But when we go into the cottage, and any hideout really, you want to pay attention to the bottom left. There's the price of $230K, how much money we have in the bank so we can actually buy this cottage, along with other stats, but the big one for this one will be the water and the phone line. The phone line is so you can put a phone in here and you can take your messages without having to go to Lonzo's or finding a phone or even using a payphone. And then running water, you'll have an infinite supply, so you do not have to waste money on buying water for your marijuana. Now, there is one quest where you need to go visit the botanist. His name is Emilio, and he sells seeds and other things you need to get your operations up and running. And I believe it's his brother, Elvin, who will sell you the equipment. Now, right here, I meant to go get some of the seeds and the fertilizer and the baggies, which you will need. But in the beginning, I forgot to change my backpack in the starting hideout wardrobe, so I wasn't able to get that right away right here. But those are some things you want to get, is the fertilizers, the baggies, and the seeds. Then you want to head over to Emilio's brother Elvin, and you're going to want to get two pieces of equipment for now. You're going to want to get the grow box. I believe on the first day he is only going to have one for you. And then you want to get two hybrid dryers. These are the basic equipments to grow a marijuana that you will find in your starting hideout in the bunker on the small island. But on the second day, you want to go back, and as you can see, as he levels up, it changes how much he holds in stock, I believe, or even gives you discounts. But you're going to want to go back on the second day and get another grow box. And I forgot to mention, you also want to buy 5 large containers from Elvin, because these will hold your substances, so you have storage for all your fertilizer when you unpack it, as well as anything else that you unpack within the hideout. As well as also remember to keep scheduling yourself to do deliveries so you can afford these things, because you cannot pay out of your bank to get the equipment from the botanist brothers, so you need money in your actual inventory. So just keep selling your marijuana from your original bunker hideout until you get this operation fully up and running. So assuming you got all the equipment, you visit the furniture store and you can actually place equipment from the furniture store in your house, you're ready to go. Go inside your hideout, press and hold spacebar, put down a table. You should already have one available to you. Put down a laboratory tray as well. And then with this, you can start unpacking all your fertilizer. But first, you're actually going to need to place down the large container, which I forgot. And I actually tested this right here, but you can actually place them under the tables if you want to save on space. And it just looks a lot neater placing them under the table. After you're done placing those large containers and unpacking everything inside your hideout, you can go ahead and put your grow boxes. I like to put them in this room and like one on each end of the room. You can organize it however you would like, but you can put those right there. And then for the hybrid dryers, they need to hang off the ceiling. So I like to put them out here in the other room just to keep it separated a little bit, keep it nice and neat. And then you have your basic equipment to get started on growing your marijuana. And in case you didn't know how to grow it, all you got to do is make sure your seeds are in your inventory, make sure the fertilizer is unpacked, and you just want to craft as much as you can. They can craft up to 2 at a time, and it will get you about 35 plants from 1 seed. If you want to boost production a little bit, you can actually go back and visit the botanist and buy a LED light bulb. And you're going to want to go ahead and put this inside your grow box. Unfortunately, he only has one, but you can wait another day and they will be restocked. And go buy another one just so both of your grow boxes do have light bulbs. And the light bulbs will increase your production by 15% and reduce power consumption by 25%. And one more piece of equipment you can buy for the hybrid dryers is the fan. The fan, you put it inside the slot within the hybrid dryer, and that will increase the drying process by 15%. Now at this point, you can actually just get away with these grow boxes and in the hybrid dryers, and you can start your weed operations pretty much around day 2 and just be running out of this house. Put a bed in there, sleep there if you want. Put a metal cabinet to store your extra goodies and whatnot. But you can go even further. In this next part, I have to give a shout out to Shikari1990, who was in during my stream, because they gave me some tips on even growing the operation even further. So here we go. Now, to grow your operation even further, I do recommend building up your supply a little bit, as well as building up your money a little bit, because this will be time consuming as well. But what you're going to want is hydronic elements, flower pot, and UV bulb from the botanist. Then you know how we do it. Back over to the brother. What you're going to want is the seeding box. I believe I just bought 1 for now. Outdoor drying rack. I ideally want to have up to 3, but just buy what you can afford of these. As long as you have 1 of each, that is fine. And then you want the rack for plants. The rack for plants is why we bought all those tools from the botanist, because you need to put all those in the rack for plants. Otherwise, the rack for plants is pretty much useless. It will not work without those tools. So with everything that I just bought, I went back to the hideout and decided to place these racks in with the marijuana plants. Now, essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to start growing our own trees, be able to get our own seeds so we don't have to keep going and buying them from vendors. And we're going to be able to dry it and increase the production to make even more plants. As you can see right here, we'll go into it. You can actually make it from seeds, or you can make it from male and female plants, but we're going to put the equipment inside the racks. So the grow box, the hydronic thing, as well as the UV bulb. I went ahead and just placed the outdoor dry racks. Of course, outdoor. This hideout has a little bit of a yard. So I went ahead and just placed it in front of the window. We like to have everyone see what we're doing at our house, apparently, and they know that we are growing some marijuana. For the seeding box, I went ahead and just adjusted this table because, like I said, I'm trying to be as efficient as possible with fitting as much inside here as I can. And I went ahead and put the grow box on this table. Now, the grow box does take fertilizer as well, so you want to make sure you do have that in your substance storage. But you're going to be using your seeds, and you're going to be growing your own little plants from the grow box. Now, as you can see right here, the grow box, it can make different kinds of plants. It can either make a male plant or a female plant. So with this, you can actually head over to your racks and choose which plant you want to use to grow your plants. So I like to choose 1 for the female and 1 for the male. Eventually, you can have multiple, where if you want to do multiple female and maybe like 1 male, because the female plants actually create a lot more plants than the male ones do. But the interesting thing about the male plants is they make less of the marijuana plant, but they also provide you with more seeds so you can keep growing more plants in the future. Okay, here we are. We're going to showcase it. I love the way the plants look when they're fully grown. But as you can see, the female plant makes a lot more, but it takes longer than the male plant to do. And even then, for working on 2 seeds for each one, it takes roughly an hour. And you can see the production stuff on the very top, how long it does take. And as you can see, the male plant provided us with more seeds, so I can take those seeds out to the seeding box and start making more plants. And then I'm pretty much becoming more self-efficient. The one thing I still need to purchase is fertilizer from the local shops. And then I just bring it out to the drying rack, and the drying racks actually can hold up to 250 of those plants and dry them. But I like to split them between the drying racks. So ideally you want to get more drying racks and just evenly split it, which will also lower your time. And I guess the same could be said for having multiple machines running. That's why you can keep the grow boxes as well as the racks, just so you're not waiting forever to have more product being made. One final tip is something I actually figured out while making this video is you can go to the furniture store, and certain furnitures will give you extra stash space. So I put up those couple shelves, and as you see, my hideout stash was increasing, so I can hold more items like plants and stuff and just keep them in the hideout stash and use it for future production. And you can even do things with like bookshelves and stuff. What you want to see is when the product says a handy space, that means it will increase your hideout stash. And that's something that took me forever to figure out, but I'm so happy I figured out how to increase the hideout stash just to make things a little bit easier on myself. I might do a couple bookshelves, but I think I really like those little shelves that I put on the wall. The bookshelves though, they do have +5 handy space, which is very useful, whereas I believe those little shelves, if I'm not mistaken, only did 1. As you can see right here, I put down 2 bookshelves, and look how much hideout stash I have in my space, which will be very nice in the future. So there we have it. I hope this video was kind of easy to follow. I'm not used to doing guides, but here is how the room looks. I went ahead and bought another rack for the plants, and I put it in the middle. That middle one is actually for the male plants, while the 2 ones closest to me on the walls are for the female plants. And then I just kept the grow boxes. In the future, when you feel comfortable enough, I believe you can probably just fill up the room with racks. That is kind of what I'm doing in my main playthrough if I throw up a screenshot right here. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps you out. This is how to get your marijuana operation up and running if you just want to focus on marijuana for a bit and increase your income. But hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys enjoy the game coming out on June 20th. Priced at, I think it is $25 USD this coming Thursday. So be sure to wishlist it, check it out. And until next time, remember to change that world one smile at a time. You never know whose life you save or change. And as always, I can't wait to see you guys in the next live stream and or video. Love you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys more than anything in the world. Up over here, most recommended video just for you. Down over here, subscribe and come back for more. In the very top left-hand corner, make sure you click the Discord link because I would love to grow an awesome community with you guys.